This is not going to be an ordinary episode of Walsham Weekly. This episode is going to more focus on suicide and depression. So if you don't want to listen to those sort of topics, then I would suggest you just don't listen to this episode. This episode isn't going to be cheery, it's not going to be happy, it's not going to help you upgrade your life, but it is going to, in my opinion, I want to try and show how important of a topic it actually is. The reason that I've chosen to talk about this topic now, I was thinking of doing it in the future sometime. I was thinking of doing a podcast about depression and suicide, but I feel like now is just the right time to do it, because growing up all my life, my favorite band was always Linkin Park. When I went through surgery in 2012, their songs and their music really, it just held me in there. I was in the hospital, I had very few games on my phone, they got very boring, but I had all the Linkin Park albums that were out at the time. And I just listened to them on repeat for 8 days straight while I was just in the hospital, drugged off my mind and hating my life because I was in severe pain after having a spinal fusion. So yeah, I think it's a really important topic. And for myself, when it comes to, if you don't know what happened with the band, Chester Bennington, he was the frontman for Linkin Park, has been since 1999, and they've done maybe 7-8 albums together. They came to the very, very, very top of the very height of artistic achievement. They're one of the biggest bands ever. I think they sold more albums than any other band or any other musician in the whole of 2000 to 2010. So yeah, they hold the records. They hold records for like the best selling albums of those time frames. So yeah, it's pretty insane. They're absolutely huge. And for myself, I know a lot of people have been widely affected by this, because it might seem like it's just another person that has taken their own life, just another drugged up celebrity, but a lot of the point of Linkin Park was they reached out to people who were suffering and that were feeling sad and didn't know where else to go, because a lot of their songs focused on suicide and depression. And what's really sad is for one of Chester's last live performances at Jimmy Kimmel Live, they were going to play their new hit single, Heavy, but instead they played their song, One More Light. And that song, One More Light, meaning one more life, focusing on who cares if one more life leaves us, but in reality it's like they care, etc. That's sort of the idea of the song. And now hearing Chester sing that now is quite painful. I didn't think that something like this could ever happen or would even affect me if it did happen, just because I'm so far removed from it. Like, I don't know them personally. Never met them. I made this stupid mistake of not going to their concert the one time they came to New Zealand. And now basically they've been a huge part of my childhood. I've listened to them since I can remember. I've never stopped listening to them, really. There was a time in my life where I listened to them every day, and then it slowly just stopped, and then now it's more, I would listen to them every month or so, just to keep in mind, just to listen to just sort of renew my, But yeah, I just thought this was an important topic to talk about, because for myself with depression, I've had a few times in my life where I don't know if I was clinically depressed or anything, or I don't know if I needed that much help, but there's been a few points in my life where I thought about killing myself just because I didn't know what else to do, because I just felt like I was alone and I felt like I was trapped, and then there I felt like there was no one there to support me at all. Like I had no one to be there for me, and I felt like no matter what I did, I would never get out of it. Like it was just this thing that I just couldn't get out of, and it just kept coming. Like there were days where I would be at work and I would like have to hold back tears, and I wouldn't even know why. I wouldn't know why I was sad. I would have absolutely no clue. Thinking now, I still don't even know why I felt that way, and I didn't know how to get out of it, and it was scary. I wanted it to stop, and there's one way that everyone thinks that it'll stop that way, but all it does is it does cause more pain. I don't agree with people that say suicide is the coward's way out, because they don't feel like they feel guilty about doing that, and they feel like everything they do is wrong. And if they're already feeling like they have no one and they have no way out, then they don't think that they're going to affect that many people if they leave, if they're in such a state where they want to do it. But in a way, with Linkin Park and with Chester, he did it on his friend's birthday, and his friend committed suicide 2 months ago, and then he played One More Light a few weeks ago at Jimmy Kimmel Live in memory of his friend. So it's, yeah. I know this isn't the most interesting podcast, but I just kind of needed to get it out because I didn't know where else to sort of get it out, you know. And I have this creative outlet for a reason. I thought I might as well use it. But yeah, I don't know if you are someone that's listening to this and going through all these feelings. Like if you feel like no one understands and no one can get your problem, like I know I can't truly understand, but I want to try sort of see your point of view, because it's hard, and you do feel like there's no one there and there's no way out and there's nothing you can really do. But in reality, there's quite a few things you can do, but you just can't see them at the time. One thing that you can do if you are feeling this way and you do feel like suicide is an option to get out of it, or all that is one, make sure, how are you living your life? Because for myself, when I was really depressed, the main thing that I was doing is I was exercising, but my exercise was like, when I first got into the gym, this is probably the lowest point of my life. I just got into the gym just to sort of restart my life. And I would go to the gym and just sort of pour my emotion into the gym, and that gave me that gave myself a way out of it, because eventually the gym became more than just emotion for me. It became a hobby, it became a passion, it became something that I really wanted to do, and something that I just completely fell in love with. But if you're living your life how I was, before I started the gym, I was just sitting at home and I would play hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of just video games. I remember the amount of years that I played RuneScape while listening to Linkin Park. That's what really hits me. It's like Linkin Park's been there for the hardest years of my life and the most influential. And like it's like talking to a friend. Like every time I go back and listen to their music, it just brings me back. And it's something that I don't think I'll ever be able to, like, I don't think it's something that I'll ever listen to and not feel like, wow, it's beautiful music. And it kind of annoyed me how they've become, I guess, a meme in the sense in the last few years, which is like, it's going to happen if you get to such like heights. Like, they're an extremely huge band, so it's something that's going to happen. So yeah, and I guess like a lot of their songs, they were good and they were relevant in 2000, but nowadays they don't transfer because they're just too angsty, because the whole teenage angst thing was huge back in 2000, but nowadays it's not as much. But yeah, so I think one thing that you can really do is change up some things in your life. If it's a person, that is holding you down and making you feel that way, you can't completely blame them, but if there's a way that you can get away from this person, like if it's a destructive partner or something like that, if it's a person, then I think the best thing to do is just to get that person out of your life as fast as possible. If you have to make some drastic change, then just do it, because any change is good change if it's for the better, in my opinion. Because for myself, I notice any time that I've had major change in my life that I thought was scary, I had to leave a job that was making me not happy. I hated the job. I hated the people there. I was scared to work there. I had so many incidents at that job. It was really fucked up, to be honest. And leaving that job, I was so scared because I thought for some reason as a 17-year-old I would not know how to get income. But it's like that job didn't exactly, like I had enough savings to get by, so it's fine. And I don't live by myself. I live with my parents, so I don't need to pay rent and things like that. So yeah. So I reckon just figure out one thing that you can change for the better, or just change to get out of a situation of someone. I know it doesn't feel like there's something you can do, but there's always something. There's got to be something you can do, even if it's just for yourself. Even if it's just for myself. I tried so many things that are sort of I didn't think they worked that well. Like I did things like I'd write down. I did this again this year. I was fine this year, but back a long time ago, I used to try and write down things that I'm grateful for, and I just picked random things that I was grateful for every day, and I don't think that really helped me. What really helped me personally, but it's different for everyone. What helped me was going and just finding what I actually enjoyed. I thought I loved video games, but really I was just addicted to video games because it was safe and it was easy, and it was not hard at all to just play video games all day. And I would just use work as my outlet. I still do in a way, but it's more of, I know when to give myself a break, and I know when to just chill out. And I know what to work hard at, not to just work hard in general, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's one thing you can do. I think the best thing that you can do is probably just reach out to friends. Even if you don't feel like you've got anyone, there's people that you wouldn't even expect that will have your back. If you live in New Zealand, there's Helpline. You can either Google Helpline, or I think it is 0800 Helpline, or you can even the suicide prevention hotlines in New Zealand. For New Zealand, it is 0508 828 826. That is the suicide prevention hotline in New Zealand. And then another amazing resource that I've done a bit of research on is depression.org. They have so many great things in New Zealand. Even if you're not in New Zealand, you should still check it out. depression.org.nz. Amazing website. It has so many details. It shows you stories of people who are going through similar things that you're going through if you're feeling this way, or if you have a friend that's feeling this way. And if you think someone is down, just reach out to them. Just say hi. Because especially they focus a lot on being a male and being depressed, because a lot of male culture, the whole time I was growing up, it was no boys were talking about how they felt until it was one-on-one. In groups, in every single group, boys, like the act of putting each other down was seen as funny. It was seen as a joke, and like in reality, no matter who was doing it and no matter who was taking it, we all, like, everyone gave it out and everyone received it, and no one felt great about it. No one was like, ha ha. At the end of the day, we all thought it was funny for like the first time, but then it really started to affect people and no one felt great. So just think about, one, just how you're treating people and how people are treating you. And if they're not treating you well, then my personal opinion is get the fuck out of there. Like, you don't need anyone in this life. if your family treats you like shit, then you don't need them, really. The family's just, like, it's not something you need. What you need is people who support you. Your family is not people that you're really related to. Your family is people who support you, in my opinion. So yeah, if your family happens to support you, then that's great. So yeah, find people that support you and that actually care and give a fuck. Don't just stick with people who mediocrely just give you a feeling that you're wanted, I guess, or a feeling that you give you a feeling that you have friends. Like, I definitely think it's quality over quantity. This year I've gone from, like, I used to have tons of friends last year, but this year I've focused more on just having quality, and I definitely have felt that has made me feel a lot better. Just because every single friend that I do have, I know that they treat me well, and they treat me with respect, and they make me feel wanted and valued. And the 24/7 helpline in New Zealand is 0800 543 354. 0800 543 354. So yeah, check that out. If you just want to talk to someone, they're there to talk to you. They don't really care if you're just calling to talk, because that's what they're there for. If you're having a shit day, call them. They're fine with it. It's free, confidential support, and it's just volunteers. So they go there to help. They don't go there to get paid. They don't hate their job. They wouldn't be there if they didn't volunteer. So they want to just talk to you and just help you get through these issues. So yeah. I'd also just like to say, my friend mentioned to me that she thinks it's a very important thing to touch on, that a lot of people use the word depression very lightly, and they think they're depressed because they've been sad over an event. But what I think depression is more, you're sad not all the time. Like, you will have moments of happiness, but then when that excitement is faded, and then it just fades back to this numb feeling. And that's sort of what I think it is. And it's not just a 1 week thing where you feel shit. Like, the last 2 days is not me being depressed just because someone that I really cared about passed away, took their own life. That doesn't mean that I'm depressed. It just means that I'm having a shit time in life right now. So I think when you say, oh, I'm so depressed right now, but it's like, it's not quite accurate, is it? But yeah. I don't know. But yeah. I also think with men that I think the main thing is the talk. I've noticed ever since I left school and I've just been at university and not really talking to too many dudes, I notice what you sort of realize is everyone wants the exact same thing. Everyone wants to have friends. Everyone wants to have people be nice to them. Everyone wants to be nice to other people. People aren't out to hurt each other. People do that as a defense mechanism because they feel hurt themselves or they have shit going on in their lives. And if you're at the back end of that, then fuck it. Get out of there. Waste of your time. Your time is very, very valuable. Nothing is more important than your time, to be honest. Just because they've been there for a long time and they've started treating you like shit, that doesn't mean you have to keep them. You can leave them just as fast as you met them. It's that simple, just because you have to put yourself first in every single aspect. And it's not selfish, it's just how you should live life, in my opinion. I think you have to put yourself first and then care for others. Because if you're not happy and not 100% content with yourself, then how are you going to help other people? And once you become content with yourself and happy and feeling great about your life, And like, you don't have to feel great all the time, but if it's a net positive happiness, then I think that's a win. So yeah, especially for males and females, I think just talk to people and just discuss real feelings. Don't have shit conversations about things you don't care about. Just ask them. Just jump over that awkward gap of turning it into a DMC, a deep, meaningful conversation, because that gap can be quite scary. But once you actually get to that gap, you notice that it's not really the scariest thing. It's not the scariest thing in the world. So yeah, I reckon just talk to people and just get yourself out there. Go do things that scare you. Because if you just show yourself that you can do these things, and then start going to the gym, start exercising, start eating healthy, start drinking water, etc. Get yourself away from toxic people that aren't adding to your life. People don't have to bring inherent value to your life. They're just, if they are taking away from it, if they are taking value from you, like if they just use you, then get rid of them. Toxic. It might be hard to get rid of them, but figure out a way to just cut them out of your life. You don't have to be dramatic about it. You can just fade out of their life because it's not beneficial. So just let it go. So yeah, I think I'll probably just end it here. And I'd just like to say thank you to Linkin Park for being a band that truly made me think and made me feel emotional throughout all my teenage years. They really were a huge part of my childhood, and they're even still a huge part of my life. I can't wait to see where the rest of the band still takes it, and I don't know, and personally, if I think it's right to carry on. I'm not really sure. I don't think they should replace Chester, but I love their music and I would like to see where they go. But I think maybe Mike could move on with Fort Minor or something. But yeah, it's a sad thing to happen, but shit happens, you know? And one thing that you've got to realize is suicide hurts everyone around you. And it might be hard to hold on, but if you hold on, then it will get better. Because I didn't think it would get better. And if I could talk to myself when I was feeling shit and I was feeling depressed, then I think I'd realize how bad I actually felt. Like now I've realized how much of a black hole my life was right then. Like I didn't feel good really about many things at all. But yeah, if I could just talk to myself now and tell myself how much has changed. Like I haven't got abundant success now, but I've just done all these things that make me so happy with my life. Like I'm so content now. I'm still always working towards things and trying to improve my life. Every day I'm trying to increase my profits on the stock market, improve my lifts, improve my physique, improve my scoliosis, improve my university work. I'm trying to do all these things to help improve my life, and I think that for myself helped me get out of it, because it showed myself that there's a lot of things that I can do, that there's things every day that I can do to improve myself and become a better person. And every single day I want to go to bed thinking, what have I done today to help improve my life? And nearly every day there's something that I can say, oh, I made some money today, or I went to the gym and improved on this lift, blah, blah, blah. I hung out with a friend today and we just talked and we had a good quality conversation, because that is valuable in my opinion. So yeah, I'd just like to say rest in peace, Chester, and thank you very much for the music. And yeah, stay safe, guys, stay happy, and stay productive. Yeah. Have a good night, guys, and thank you very much for listening.